Today, we're diving into a new way to build a company, one that gives startups the kind of strategic firepower you usually only see at major corporations. So let's get into it and find out how you can get a world-class CFO for, well, a fraction of the cost. This is the question, right? It's the one that keeps just about every founder up at night. You have this brilliant, absolutely game-changing idea. You can see the future so clearly. But, the bank account doesn't quite match that huge ambition. So how on earth do you bridge that gap? And this, right here, this is the classic startup paradox. The dream is to scale with confidence, land that major funding round, and just focus on your vision. But the reality is a daily battle with cash flow, trying to figure out complex financial models, and just getting buried under a mountain of admin. You need that expert financial strategy to grow, but you can't really afford it until you've already grown. It's the ultimate catch-22. But what if there was a way to break that cycle? Well, there is, and that brings us to the fractional CFO. Think of it as a totally new kind of strategic partner for your business. So, what exactly is a fractional CFO? It's actually a pretty simple but really powerful idea. Just imagine a veteran chief financial officer, someone with tons of experience scaling companies and dealing with investors, but they join your team on a part-time contract basis. You get all their high-level strategic thinking without having to cover a full-time executive salary. And this quote it absolutely nails the core value here. And look, let's be super clear. This isn't about outsourced bookkeeping. This is about getting that serious CFO-level planning, building the kind of forecast that investors expect, and creating reports that make you look totally buttoned up and professional. It's about leveling up your entire financial game, affordably. Okay, so that's the big idea. But on a practical, day-to-day level, what does a fractional CFO actually do? What's in their toolkit? Let's take a look. Their work really boils down to 3 key things that drive growth. First, they build your financial strategy from the ground up. That's the roadmap. Second, they streamline your operations, finding ways to make your company run leaner and smarter. And third, and this is a big one, they get you investor ready, preparing everything so you can survive that intense due diligence process. And if we zoom in a bit, this means they are right there in the trenches with you. They're building financial models and then pressure testing them. They're helping you set up the right kind of company structure to attract global investors. They're your guide through that whole funding process, from the first pitch all the way to signing a term sheet. They're doing all that heavy lifting so you don't have to. Okay, so we get what they do, but now let's talk about why this model is so incredibly powerful, especially for a company that's trying to grow. It all comes down to these 3 core advantages. First, the most obvious one. You get that top-tier expertise without the huge overhead. It's a game changer. Second, this advice is tailored specifically for the fast, sometimes chaotic world of startups. And third, it's practical. We're talking actionable guidance, not dense reports filled with jargon, just clear advice to help you make better decisions like right now. When you boil it all down, this is what it's really about. For so long, this kind of strategic financial partnership was a luxury that only massive companies could afford. The fractional model basically democratizes it. It puts that elite-level help right into the hands of the innovators, the disruptors, the people who need it most. And this chart really puts the numbers into perspective. I mean, think about it. A full-time CFO can easily cost you well over $250,000 a year, plus equity. A fractional CFO can give you the core strategic value you need for maybe a quarter of that cost. And the cash you save? That's your runway. That's another engineer, a bigger marketing spend. It's more time to get things right. So let's pull all of this together. What's the big picture impact here? Well, it's about making a fundamental shift in how you operate. It's all about scaling smarter so you can grow faster. And here is the real magic. By offloading all that immense financial strategy to an expert you trust, it frees you up. You, the founder, get to go back to doing the one thing that only you can do, focusing on your vision. You get to pour all your energy back into the products, the customers, and the company culture. It really is about having a true co-pilot for the entire journey, which, let's be honest, can be both terrifying and exhilarating. From that first spark of an idea, all the way to landing a huge investment, you have a partner making sure your financial foundation is rock solid. And that leaves us with a really interesting final thought. This whole on-demand fractional model is totally changing the game for financial expertise. It makes you wonder, what's next? Fractional chief marketing officers are already a thing. But what about a fractional head of engineering or head of people? As work itself keeps changing, what other big C-suite roles do you think are going to go fractional next? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.